welcome aboard for the YouTube video with me, Silver Actual. Today we're previewing one of my scenarios. So this is Train 1 Yankee 11, the 0450 Edinburgh to Fort William service. We're here at Spean Bridge on the West Highland Line extension. We're going to take the last section of the journey with 67004, which was one of the ones that was retrofitted into Caledonian Sleeper livery. I'm just going to quickly fire up my cab. And re. Just going to put myself back to neutral. So then just down from the engine, just so that we can wait for the doors to close. So we're running from here to Fort William. There we go. You do actually get a whiff of it, I think, just by moving views where we messed that part of the scripting up. So next stop, Fort William. So you can see we've got basically go down to Fort William, do some shunting there. Not that long distance in driving, but it's about a 30-minute scenario when all is said and done. Let's get those windows opened up. So this is one of the Class 67 Enhanced Impact reskins that came out from Armstrong Powerhouse. Of course, it's the Serco Caledonian Sleeper. And we've got one of James Ivell's, Caledonian Sleeper reskins. Well, two of them for the coaches using the West Coast Mainline over shaft stock, and then the AP Mark II E-stock. I do enjoy the Mark IIs. I do. So yeah, today's one of my days off. So I've got to be back at work. Today's not one of my days off. It's 11 PM on Friday night, and I've got Saturday off, and then I'm back in on Sunday through to like midweek next week. Which, in the long term, it actually is good for me, and it is good for the YouTubes, because it's going to mean that I can, because of the way that my pay works, that means that next week I'll be able to spend more money on things. I was also looking at the AP 466. I don't think I'm going to jump out and buy that as soon as I did the 465, 466, as much as I did the 156. I literally bought that on the day and then didn't eat for the rest of the week because I wanted it that much. And I think that's just because, quite honestly, I don't really drive in that part of the world in my own time because I'm not from there, you know what I mean? And I think trains are relevant to what you've seen. That's why I love the 67s. There's always one parked in Central Station in Newcastle, which is where obviously I'm from, and I can see it from my work. We've actually got 67005 Queen's Messenger at the moment. So, and that's cool. And I see them, and that's, I don't know why I like Mark IIs so much. I've only seen Mark IIs once, and that was after I was interested in them already. I think that's just because it's a really great model for them. I had a ride on the on an HST the other week. That was awesome. So basically, I was in the coach behind the RFB on in a HST set, and I was sitting with the window open, sort of back to this wall here. Watching the world go by, and it was just an experience that we're not going to have anymore. And it's just that come the end of the year, we're not going to have drop lights on trains. And drop light doors, although they're weird to open when you're not used to it, yeah, there's a certain romance to that, I think. And it's the same for local hold stock. I mean, there's very little of that left in the country. Mind you, it's for the first time in ages, it's actually become more popular. So it's obviously been the 68s and Mark 5 stocks come online. So it's the first time local holds replaced multiple units in a while. I suppose the only two times I can think local holds actually replaced multiple units is the WAG train and this. Well, I suppose the 755s are coming online, 745, 755s, the Flirts and the Great Wrangler, and they're going to be replacing 90s soon, just so. But again, I understand why it has to happen, I just don't want it to happen. It's actually got a really nice little drive, this. One of the joys of this route is because large parts of it are slow speed, it's really quite high detail. So you know, it's like this all the way up. I was actually quite proud of myself. I drove the full length of this route the other day from Fort William to Mallaig in the Bossman Games Black 5. That was stressful. That was very stressful. But I made it in the end. I blew it up once. I've run out of water once, which that doesn't really quite constitute blowing it up, but you know. Yeah, I'm just gonna coast us down here. I've got the 60 then the 40. I should have actually changed our priority to be secondary so we wouldn't get the EPS speeds, but no. That's a decent quality scenario in my opinion. It's very simple and didn't take much effort to create, but I just think it's a nice and enjoyable run because of how relaxing it is. Just a 10-mile cruise and then some shunting. And also, yeah, I've not really had much interesting stuff happen that I could cover in vlogs. I'm going to do some scheduling because obviously last time I went to Dover to see my friend, I got stuck waiting for that's the Bossman Games Black 5 that's parked in thingy. I'm trying to bring it down to 40 just because that was the speed limit there. It's the local hold speed. I'm not sure if the train's forward with Mark 3 carriages. It might actually be that we can conform to the higher speeds. Because I know HSTs can conform to the higher speeds. Unfortunately, we don't have reteb in these, but still just think it's a lovely little train to drive. I think it's a sort of route or run that suits the Class 67 very well. The 67s are by no means powerful. That's sort of the thing that everyone says about them. Can't pull the skin off a rice pod. Is honestly the description that these things get. They were designed for short mill and not much else. 4 carriages long, perfection. And they were used predominantly up here as well, I think. So, you know, that this is a very good route for them in my opinion. It's just a nice little part of the drive. But I say they don't run up here anymore in this livery at least. I remember watching Jeff and Vicky, Jeff Marshall, Vicky Pike, on all the stations, doing a Land's End John O'Groats by train, and they when they got the Inverness portion of the sleeper, it was actually hauled by a 67, and that was this summer. So the 67 still running, but these two have been resprayed back into DB red. So yeah. So yeah, no, see, I'm just enjoying myself at the moment doing stuff. And what we'll do is we'll run at that higher speed. But I said lately I'm just enjoying playing Train Sim again though, which actually is really, really good. You know, beforehand I was struggling to enjoy that. Go left retab, signaling, end of rodeo token working, and we're now on our way into the station. We're running a little ahead of time. There's a certain satisfaction. Hang on, is this the Great Glen? No, it's unrelated. Okay, cool. Oh no, it is. It is. This will be the line to. Wait. Where are we? This is doing me confused. We're over here. So this is Fort William Yard. So yeah, it is the Great Glen. So the Caledonia Canal. Yeah, this is Fort William Yard. There's nothing in there because you wouldn't see it unless you were flying around like I am now. Anyway, the satisfying view I find, and I don't know why, but trains going over bridges like this. I just find this is quite a nice little livery as well, because there's always at least one of the coaches in the set isn't resprayed into Serco livery. I'm going to say the word Serco far too much. But yeah. No, so I volunteered to work the weekend because it'll be a nice chilled out day. I should also hopefully be able to go and collect my Build-A-Bear tomorrow. I never actually looked up here, because this is the await instructions. So this is the Fort William aluminium plant. There's actually a photograph of a 66 with a 325 stabled. I think it's taken from here, and the 66 and 325 is stabled in this area here. Let me see if I can find the photo, because we've got a bit of a wait when we arrive at Fort William. It's on Flickr. Flickr, by the way, is a gold mine for train spotting gen. Fort William. It's yeah, honestly, it's brilliant levels of gen. Date taken. Fort William. Train. So it was taken back in 2010. So you'll be fairly specific with keywords you search for. I don't know why I try and leave the engine running and put brakes on. that's Fort William oil sidings. They tend to stable a Class 73 on there through the day. Ah, that's a brilliant photograph of it, actually. I'll wait till we're pulling to stop, and then I'll... I was hoping that they were using them for... You know, they're sending the 325s up for like a specific reason, and that they were going to start maybe doing mail haulage from, you know, via on the Fort William line. But apparently, it was only just to basically provide a weight on the back of the 66s when they were going up there to do the driver loading. When GB Rail Freight was taking over from DB, well, as it would have been EWS back in those days. We should find the photo of it in stabling. It's actually going on the platform that we were on. Yeah, I can't see the stabled photo, but I'll show you it properly. As and when we arrive, so we've got the amber aspect, which means you can proceed into the platform. I've been in the Siddles before, and I've said every time I come here. Oh, look at that, it's steamy. So I wonder, is that where they actually run around, is in Fort William Station? So it would make sense. Welcome to Fort William. Okay, so we're stop so that we are well clear of these points. There we go. Yeah, but we stopped, so we're in the shunt limits. Pop the doors open. So you can see we've got the Lancashire Fusilier here, 45407, on the Caledonian Sleeper. Not the Caledonian Sleeper, you know what I meant. You know what I meant. You know what I meant. We're going to do a run around soon. But the photographs I was referring to, I'm going to have to quickly handle this in a way so that you guys don't see all my pop-ups. There we go. So this is what I was referring to. This here. There's obviously 325, and we've literally just come down that section of track. 66728 Institute for something or other. Class 325. And then that's a picture of it in the runaround point. 325 008, what was that named up as? So what I'm going to do is I'm now going to async keys up a bit because I've got a 5-minute stand here. And this service isn't actually scheduled to do the shunting for another quite a few minutes, but you can see it was only a 15-minute drive down here. So I thought, you know what, let's just kick it up again and do a bit more work. So 325 first of all. Okay, let's just do it this one. No, actually, photos where you can easily read the nameplate. It's quite annoying. They're all taken from pretty much the same angle. There is a nameplate on it photo for sure. Around a minute left now, so what we'll do is we'll check forward. I do like the icons for the signals on this route, by the way. I don't know why, I just find this satisfying. So basically what we do is we drop off that, we shunt forward to the platform on reverse point, we will go back up the station approach and then couple up the rear of the train. Probably shunt it forward a few feet once we get brake pressure in the train. There are some phenomenal liveries, actually. Oh, I don't know why I left. Yeah. Oh, well. Emergency brakes jammed itself on. Remind me. So, out, in. Okay. So we've been notified that we're basically allowed to do our stuff now and shunt off the train. So I'm going to release brake pressure, and then we'll put a handbrake on the last Mark III, and then we'll do that. We'll blast the horn to indicate that we're moving away. Disable the electronic train supply. Cause us to rev down even though we're not actually. If anything, we're accelerating. It just means we lose a bit of that, the RPM. With regards to that, what I'm going to do is go. So actually, one of the bits of feedback I had from a driver who was formerly driving these in EWS days was that they're actually dangerous because these large panels here make it quite easy to lose the shunter. So if you're doing shunting like this and there's someone standing down there, you can actually see now that the visibility in terms of long distance is great, short distance not so much, unless you're sort of like leaning forward or poking head out the cab window. I'm going to get right up against the end here. See, like that's the. Normally, if I was in a Sprinter, that would be my stopping reference, like that sort of view of the nose. You can see that actually that's really quite a bad FOV. Let's just hit the points. Don't know why I did that, but we want that one flicked. Got the noise for it, which is nice. It's quite funny, I was actually reading basically closely watched trains, that's the one, and it's actually a Czech film, and I was just reading an article on basically, well, it was a forum post, really, not really an article, but on the Greater Anglia 325 that had its doors pop open as it was travelling through the countryside, or not really closed, no one really knows. And it was actually and the people who were sort of commenting on that, former railway people, said, yeah, we signed a rule book that said we would closely watch trains, and closely watch trains is actually a Czech movie from 1968, and it, yeah, and like looking at the names and I recognise them. There's people who are sort of still actors even now for that. I just find that very cool. Sir W.G. Armstrong Whitworth Engineers, Scotswood Works, Newcastle upon Tyne. This loco was built, that's a bit weird, but it was built maybe 2 miles from where I am now. And that's the tops. Let's have next cars. He's. I'm gonna have a check off of these because I do recognise some of them. Barandov is actually is like a quarter of Prague, so it'd be a bit like yeah. Let's have next cars. Yep, I think I actually might have met him. The other guy I'm not so familiar with, but Bartek Netcart I'm very familiar with. Vlastimil Brodsky. Oh, he's died. Oh. It's a weird photo, moving ahead on a photo. But yeah, that 66 was, I just was scrolling through pictures looking for scenarios to build on this route, and I was like, yes, I want to build that, and I might still do it. If I can find some vague timings for us. I might basically just clone this scenario and pop the 66 in its place. Or the 66-325 combo, I should say. 1 mile an hour over the limit, I'm not bothered about. So the game's no longer bothered about it either. The young Miloš Herma, who speaks with misplaced pride of his family and misfits of malingerers, is engaged as a newly trained station guard in a small railway station during the Second World War and the German occupation of Czechoslovakia. He admires himself as a uniform looks forward, like his prematurely retired railwayman father, to avoiding real work. His son is a pompous station master, is an enthusiastic pigeon breeder with a kind wife, but is envious of the train dispatcher Hubička's success with women. Miloš holds an as yet platonic love for the pretty young conductor Masha. The experienced Hubička presses for details of their relationship and realizes that Miloš is still a virgin. This is getting a bit detailed for, yeah. Oh, so it's basically, as I say, yeah. If you want to look into it, look into it. If you don't, then I don't blame you. I just find it hilarious that very rarely do I hear English people referring to Czech films in any sense. So you have to tab just to get the calling on signal. That's what that is. That basically says it's a danger aspect, but you can proceed to couple onto something. Oh, sorry, the preceding signal sector is occupied, however you may proceed to couple. Like a virgin, touched for the very first time. So yeah, we're going to couple up, then shunt forward slightly. I did put the tail lamps on the back, but I don't really know and care. So I'm going to do a blast on the horn as I approach, just in case there's someone trying to get on and off the coach, something like that. Because the doors, I'm not sure if the doors be locked when we're doing the shunting or not. That's an interesting observation. So there's the musical, you may have heard of it, called Matilda. And one of the songs is When I Grow Up, and it's about growing up and how amazing it's all going to be, and how you're not going to have to do child things anymore, and how you're going to love it. Well, I was listening to the lyrics, and I was like, yeah, I get it when the sun comes up, and I go to bed late every night. Yep. I wouldn't describe that as a fun thing. But do go on. Sort of thing. I think I might have just stopped within the nick of space. That's cool, that's the dispatch signal. I'm not sure what it's doing on that side though. Oh well. Well done, you've successfully completed this scenario. Okay guys, well, we're done. Yeah, I guess the point I'm making is, although it's the title of a song, doesn't mean you're necessarily going to enjoy it. Alright guys, thank you very much for watching. The train sits here for a while before it heads off to the yard. But, well, literally it heads to shut onto this siding here. But we'll probably move forward a little further in the real world. But anyway guys, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.